If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs. I know the mainstream media wants us to believe that the WNBA...
Without Caitlin Clark, was it possible to watch the WNBA playoffs? Probably not, considering how few people actually did. We are talking about a dramatic drop from 1.8 million to just 161,000 views.
Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert and the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment.
Whether the WNBA is truly in danger without its newest superstar.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years. Some people get famous on art.
Let's talk about Clark for a moment. She changed the course of events rather than just showing up.
From merchandising sales to new sponsorships to television ratings absolutely going through the roof to attendance to sellouts at basketball games to all-star games with record attendance both in person and on television. It is safe to say, North America, that the Caitlin Clark effect has taken over the WNBA at this point.
The WNBA would have cringeworthy TV ratings and empty seats without Clark. It was all thanks to her that the Indiana Fever transformed from being an unimportant team to a playoff contender. Can you imagine becoming famous so fast?
WNBA ratings are embarrassing without Caitlin Clark. 0 games have sold out in the playoffs. Outside of Caitlin Clark, there was not a single game that eclipsed 500,000 viewers. Hell, they weren't even close to doing that. Once she is eliminated...
Is the WNBA placing all of its eggs in one basket? What would happen if that basket broke? Because we will discuss the significance of this for women's basketball. For instance, do you recall how the Indiana Fever transformed from a mere team to a challenger for the postseason? And it's all due to one individual.
This woman is box office, plus she can play. And the combination of the two would ultimately...
When we talk about Clark's rookie season, we're not just talking about amazing stats. We're talking about numbers that basketball historians take note of. We observe that. On the basketball floor, we witness the ability. She is capable of shooting, handling, and passing, all right? From that perspective, I say, mad respect. Are there any other WNBA players that? In her postseason debut, Clark became the first rookie in WNBA history to score at least 25 points, grab 5 rebounds, and dish out 5 assists. Not only are records being shattered, but new benchmarks for genius are emerging.
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
How the stats reveal a narrative you won't anticipate.
Well, I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
Throughout the postseason series, Clark averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block per game. Who else has scored as many goals in the postseason? This stat line is unmatched by any player in WNBA history. You might be thinking, wow, those are some impressive stats, but what does this mean for the league? Now that we're in Michael Jordan territory. Okay, allow me to offer you a suggestion.
Because at the end of the day, with her WNBA rookie season complete, let's see it. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history.
Throughout the postseason series, Clark averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block per game. Who else has scored as many goals in the postseason? This stat line is unmatched by any player in WNBA history. You might be thinking, Wow, those are some impressive stats, but what does this mean for the league? Now that we're in Michael Jordan territory. Okay, allow me to offer you a suggestion.
Career 10 or more assists in a game. How about that, franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game? Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 three-pointers. She did it in 34 games. Most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever. 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season, regardless of years in the league. That's not a rookie record. That's just a record for anybody.
But it extends beyond what takes place on the court. Clark's impact goes much beyond hardwood flooring.
And the attention that she brought to a woman's league and a women's side, if you will, of the sport is just, I think, hopefully going to have a residual effect for years to come.
Yeah, I think it can't be overstated enough, like what she did to bring eyes to that sport. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's just a...
You guessed it. WNBA games are drawing record numbers of viewers. Who are they observing? Clark, Caitlin.
Looking at some of the numbers here. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
Let's talk about numbers for a moment. Yes, it's no longer common to see packed arenas during Clark's games. Instead, during playoff games, half of the seats are vacant.
Has trickled up to the WNBA this season as the league has seen unprecedented growth thanks to the emergence of a strong rookie class headlined by #1 overall pick Caitlin Clark. So WNBA released a report recently. Numbers are beyond impressive. Attendance is up 156% from last year, and more than half of all WNBA games this year have been sellouts. This year's televised games are averaging 1.32 million viewers, nearly triple last season's average of 462,000. Continuing, the WNBA's online merchandise store has already set a single-season sales record with more than 4 months left in the season, and sales are up 7.
Can you imagine walking into an arena that ought to be brimming with enthusiasm for the playoffs, only to discover that it feels more like a ghost town? This is where things become really ugly, but that's the NBA's new reality. In addition to fewer spectators, the WNBA is losing money.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the league.
The NBA makes about $7 billion from TV deals alone, while the WNBA needs $200 million a year from the NBA to survive. This is a Grand Canyon-sized chasm, not just a discrepancy. Furthermore, I'm not referring to pocket change.
So if we look at this chart for the 2024 season, the Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 games. So this is taking into consideration not only the Indiana Fever home games, but also when they are on the...
You could be thinking, well, they must have a plan to fix this. This is where things get hectic, so hold on to your hats. Everyone is confused by the NBA's marketing strategy, or lack thereof. To make matters worse, they haven't created a single commercial featuring Caitlin Clark.
It's Caitlin Clark. We all know that. They are now seeing that the Clark effect is living up to the hype.
Caitlin Clark.
From a draft party.
Yeah, baby,
where nearly 6,000 people attended.
Look at the crowd here. You can see where she ranks on anticipation. This is amazing to have. I was here for the draft party a few years ago, and it was nothing compared to what it is now. This is amazing.
To the team store, where gear is flying off the shelf.
Furthermore, the league's whole star promotion process is being criticized. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA is nothing more than a polished turd ache, according to one commentator. This is a wake-up call in addition to being severe. The league neglected to create a safety net while riding high on Clark's fame. What does this all mean for women's basketball going forward? This might be a pivotal moment for the league as a whole, not just a dismal season.
Is going to get a rude awakening because 2 million, that click, 2 million of their fans just turned the TV back to the NFL.
However, the WNBA had a great chance with Clark, and they could have used her fame to promote other players and create gripping stories that would have captivated people even while she wasn't playing. Rather, they wagered all of their money on a single player, and now they are suffering the consequences.
The most dominant team in the league, they can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals. They supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new Big Three? Dreamers, Liberals. 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota Lynx.
You might be wondering what will happen now that the WNBA is encountering issues. You could be surprised by the answers, so get ready. But we're not merely discussing a band-aid fix. We're discussing a complete overhaul that might permanently change the game. First, let's discuss marketing. Even though the WNBA has been riding the Caitlin Clark wave, it's time to distribute the love.
They should be getting the attention. Now they have center stage, but the ratings are going to go down. How far, though? That's the...
Consider a league where every player has a unique history and fan base. By creating rivalries that provoke discussion even when the major players aren't playing, we hope to make every game seem important. After watching the event, let's talk about the players. The WNC cannot wait for the next Caitlin Clark to fall into their laps.